Alright, so our next video is about the belief and sequential equilibrium in imperfect information games. So to understand that, first we have to understand what imperfect information games mean. So in games where players do not know everything about what the others have done or what the type of opponents they have. ठीक है तो मतलब they don't know the history of the game, the previous moves or the kind of game or the strategy that their opponent player is going to play. They don't have these kind of information with them. So this is called an imperfect information game. पूरी information नहीं है. So one example would be poker, the game of poker where players cannot see each other's cards. तो वो हो गया imperfect information game. So decisions must be made with certainty. Okay, now what is the concept of belief in game theory, right? So we're gonna understand what a belief is. So belief क्या होता है कि belief are a player's subjective probabilities about one, what actions the opponent might have taken, two, where the game currently is in their decision tree, and three, what type of player the opponent might be. तो ऐसी कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में subjective probabilities associated in like whatever मतलब जो भी thinking system रहेगा of the player उसके in accordance to that the player associates these probabilistic values. Okay, so what beliefs do is that they fill the gaps that are left by the scenario of an imperfect information game. All right, so what are beliefs in extensive form games? ठीक है तो extensive forms game में क्या होता है कि in a dynamic tree पता है right? तो in those kind of games if you don't know it is basically just like a graph. इधर पे एक node रहेगा then it's gonna have descended nodes and all of things like that. If I'll just make a quick drawing, like it's basically something like this. Okay, like you know how it goes. Like it's gonna have smaller things like that. Okay, so that's how it's done. So that is what like a dino tree होगा. So players sometimes reach an information set. What is an information set? It is a point where they cannot distinguish which exact node they are on. ठीक है तो मतलब वो बता नहीं सकते कि वो लोग exactly कौन से node पे है तो they that point is called reaching an information set. So beliefs assign probabilities to these nodes. ठीक है तो basically belief के according में we will be able to assign some probabilities to these kinds of nodes where they will help the players decide logically कि मतलब क्या चालू है despite their uncertainty. Alright, now ये beliefs जो है ये हम constant नहीं रख सकते. Okay, we need to update these beliefs. Okay, we have to update them as we go on. So when new information or a move is observed, ठीक है तो तभी is when you will update them. So we'll do this using Bayes rule. All right, so how are we gonna do this? So basically players revise their beliefs. जो previous beliefs है वो revise होंगे using Bayes rule, which will ensure that beliefs stay mathematically consistent with the strategies chosen so far. Alright, so example होगा कि अगर एक opponent है वो बहुत aggressively खेल रहा है तो belief probabilities जो है that it will shift towards them being an aggressive type. ठीक है तो it should be in accordance to our historic observations plus in check with our current observation as well. ठीक है तो ये सबको साथ में लेके चलना चाहिए. ठीक है so we will have to update our beliefs for that. Then, sequential rationality. Okay, a player's strategy is sequentially rational if at every stage of the game, ठीक है, at every stage of the game, given the player's current beliefs, the player chooses the best possible action. ठीक है, so that at every stage जो भी current belief है उसको लेके उसको consideration में लेके the player should choose a best possible action. Okay, that is when it is sequentially rational. So each move must make sense not only overall but at every point of the decision tree. All right. Now, what is a sequential equilibrium? Okay, now a sequential equilibrium is basically that it is a refinement of Nash equilibrium for imperfect information games. Nash equilibrium cannot be applied in terms of imperfect games, so we use sequential equilibrium. A sequential equilibrium is combination of one, a strategy profile, and two, a belief system. Okay, so strategies should be optimal given their beliefs. ठीक है तो बेसिकली इसको बोलते हैं सीक्वेंशियल रैशनैलिटी. ठीक है and beliefs are consistent with the strategies played. This will be ensured by the Bayes rule. All right. So what will this do? It will eliminate irrational or bluff only Nash equilibria. मतलब जो काम के नहीं होंगे वो Nash equilibria को ये eliminate करेगा. All right. Now, um, how does it differ? How does it differ from Nash equilibrium? Alright, so let's see how it differs. So Nash equilibrium में क्या होता है? We consider an overall strategy. In sequential equilibrium, we go through every step in the game. ठीक है? Beliefs required in Nash equilibrium नहीं. Beliefs required in sequential equilibrium, yes. Okay. Now, how do Nash equilibria handle imperfect information? Very poorly, unlike in sequential equilibrium where they do it very well. Do we remove non-credible threats in Nash equilibria? No, we don't. Do we in sequential equilibria? Yes, we just spoke about it. We do. Alright, so sequential equilibria are more realistic and stronger. Now, what is an intuitive idea? Okay, what is the intuitive understanding of sequential equilibrium? Okay, now what happens is that players will predict what the others may have done. ठीक है, ये लोगों ने क्या किया होगा. They will update their beliefs as the game progresses. Alright, and they will choose strategies that makes sense at every stage. Okay, so thus the decisions that they will make will constantly adjust to the new information that they gain at every stage of the game. Then we have an example. Okay, so let us assume a market entry situation where a new firm decides to whether they need to enter or stay. Existing firm will decide to fight or accommodate. So if the firm, the new firm जो है हमारी नई firm है, अगर वो उसको पता नहीं, ठीक है, इसको पता नहीं कि मतलब अगर उसका अपोनेंट एक अग्रेसिव है या फ्रेंडली है, तो वो फर्म क्या करेगी, एक फॉर्म बिलीव फॉर्म करेगी वो कि मतलब क्या मतलब वो एक बिलीव फॉर्म करेगी बेस्ड ऑन whatever information it has about their opponent, and in accordance to that it will choose the best response, and then an equilibrium will be reached when actions match beliefs and the belief matches actions. Okay, so when belief matches actions it is base consistent. All right, now, why is it important? It's important because it is used widely. It is important, like significance as in कहाँ पे ये use हो रहा है, applications बोल दो, okay? Where is it used? So it is used in signaling games, in reputation building, in auctions, in negotiations and market strategies. Okay, so it gives us accurate predictions in real life competitive situations where information change over time. So basically, very applicable. Really, nothing is constant. No information, no state of like the current scenario that a company is, it's not going to be constant ever. So basically it's very important in the current scenario of companies or real world scenarios. All right, so that was the video. If you do like it, do give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe, whatever it is that you do. Thank you.